name is Marvin Nye from Piasta, right up by Dubuque, Iowa.
And what's this truck?
This truck is an 84 cab over K-100, got 3406, and it's the white Caterpillar. Some people mistake it for a Cummins, and I have to correct them and say, no, it's a Cat. They don't all have to be yeller.
What about transmission?
It's got a 13-speed double over.
This is still a work in progress, right?
Yeah, I bought this truck in South Texas in the middle of COVID at the end of 2020. And it was pretty close to scrapyard material, but it run and it drove all the way back to Iowa, which is pretty amazing.
So this was a COVID project?
This was a COVID project. Again, the truck I had, I traded in, it got totaled and it's gone. So this is identical now.
You wanted to recreate it?
I wanted to recreate it. I want to get back to being that age again. I think I was 23 when I bought this truck.
The first time?
First time 40 years ago.
Was that your first truck?
That was my first brand new truck. And I bought it from the Quad City Kenworth down here. It was $74,500. It did not have hubcaps or nut covers on it, and it still don't. I'm waiting for Kenworth to come by and ask me why. I'll tell them. But it's been a chore. The whole interior is all redone. Terps Upholstery in Dubuque did a great job on that. It looks just like it did, but it was
even though this is a totally different truck.
It's totally yes. It's looking so much like it did, and you can see the steering wheel up there where you grab a hold of going in. And yes, I had a different steering wheel I bought for it, and guess what? It didn't fit. I didn't do my homework well enough.
Well, you can get adapters for them.
I'm going to do that. We just realized that.
Wow, this is roomy.
And that's a queen size bed back there. It's got a closet behind one of them curtains on and the shelf to the right. That's where we used to put our little TVs. You used to always have to make sure you have them strapped down tight, because if you jack the cab up, that's where they replace the windshield next.
Oops.
Gotta be careful what you leave up in there.
Every time I'm in a truck with the lighter buttons and the darker main color, it's like stars.
Yeah,
I think.
It's
like
pretty sweet. And again, there's some piece on the interior. We don't have any of the gauges working yet or anything. That's the next project. But it's been a true enjoyment doing it.
You said that eventually this truck will be put to work?
Yes, it will. That's our plan. It's pretty close to that now, but we just work ourselves in that direction.
Did you redo the motor?
Motor didn't need it. I took it into our shop. I believe it shows 1,093,000 miles. And I took it in. We were going to pull the engine and do all this work. And our mechanic, he looked at it. He said, this needs an overhead ran. It needs oil leaks fixed. It does not need taken out. Unless you're doing show truck. And we chose not to do the show truck route. This is what it was. It's got battle scars. And that gives a character.
I missed this coming in to say to people what this is.
So this step right here is kind of an add-on. I had it on my original truck. And I bought it right here at Walcott. And what this does is keeps your foot off of this clutch pedal.
I'm probably going to regret this, but could you shut the door so I could see?
Put your foot right up there.
Yeah, that's pretty handy.
Yeah.
I love the Verishield. I assume your old truck had one also.
It did. This one didn't. Wilkerson's down in Ponca City, Oklahoma had one. So I reached out to them and they sent it on up. Some people look at that motor and they say, oh, what size Cummins is that? I said, it's not. It's a white Caterpillar. The person I was talking to said, well, they're all yellow. I said, not this one.
No.
3406. You notice the battle scars on the fuel tanks. We chose, again, this isn't show truck. This is a what it was truck.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, it's got some, dents and scars that were on it when we got it.
That's impressive that didn't pierce.
Exactly.
Wow.
And we decided we'd just polish it up and is what it is.
What's the wheelbase? About this big?
I believe it's about 224, but I'm not positive of that.
And is this close to the same color that yours was?
This is the color.
What's it called? Do you know? Blue.
Beautiful blue.
Yes, well, it is.
Now, here's the key. This is a very important part. When it comes to the color, there's a very big controversy and argument over the color. I call this Nye Blue. Now here's the other side. My good friend Don Freimiller calls this Freimiller Blue.
Combine them.
So we're very, very good friends.
Nye Miller. Put them together. Create your own custom color.
Exactly. Don, what do you think? Can we do that?
We heard it here.
Yeah. I met Don when I was 12 years old. I rode along with one of his truck drivers. He found me in the shop and he kicked me out of there, and I had to run down the street and get in the truck later.
How old were you the first time you were in a truck?
12.
Was it with him the first time?
No. My first time was actually shifting from the passenger seat of a 74 Diamond Reel. Tom Buck is the driver that taught me to drive.
A conventional, I assume?
Yeah.
Pretty hard to shift across
Yes.
the cab over.
Exactly.
Did you have family members who were truckers?
I had nobody that was truckers, but...
Then where'd it come from?
The movie.
Okay.
Smoking Bandit. I always wanted to be a cop. You know, when that stuff started out, but yeah, it was all I ever wanted to do was be a trucker. Now today I'm a paramedic also. This has been a true enjoyment. Put this together. See the steps, we don't have steps on the side of it yet.
I see.
The final parts came in today, they called.
That's how this works, isn't it?
And to get not get scammed on something is hard. We have the battery box cover made. Of course, you can see it's not attached yet, so on the way home it's going to ride on the passenger seat. So next time you see it, it'll have a few more things done to it. It's kind of like one piece at a time. What are they here? 150s.
1987.
That one's 87. The other one's 84. This tank is actually divided in two. If you see the seam here, the guy that had this before, I believe he ran a dump trailer, so that half of it was hydraulics, the other half was fuel.
So that's what we have.
Yeah, that's what that cap's for.
I thought that was for the beer.
Yeah, good idea.
Turn it into a keg.
Coors beer, right?
Yeah.
You bet. Takes me back a lot of years. Yeah, I drove this truck, or had this truck leased to Pape in 84, Raleigh Interstate in 85, and about 86, 87, I got my own authority.
And you started driving when you were how old?
Probably 12 and a half. I got
well,
legally.
Wheel,
but we're not going to talk about that. I'm sure that was it. I'm sure that was all in a private parking lot.
Exactly.
Back when Tom Buck would say, "Get behind the wheel and show me what you learned, son." And if you grind a gear, he's going to crack you in the knuckles with a tire billy.
Is this a brand new grill?
The outline is redone. You can see the scars where something was hit. We straightened it. We buffed it. This is brand new. We had that made at a local shop in Dubuque. This is the original one that we got it with here. We just acidized it, cleaned it up. You know, this is the showpiece of the K-100, this grill.
It's beautiful. The bumper's pretty nice too. Yeah,
and people are like, "Why didn't you get the big square one on it?" This is the original look.
Right.
That's what we're going for.
Right. Other than the fact that you're bringing a truck from years ago back to life, what's your favorite thing about this particular truck?
It'll pass repair shops day and night. It's just the battery was in this over the winter. I think it was 8 months. We hadn't tried to start anything. The battery still had charge in it. Had no computer to run it dead. This is the last year that Kenworth put the round headlights on the front. They went to square after that, but this year they put the new steps on it. So it had the new steps and the round headlights. 85, they went the rectangle headlights, the new step, and they went the short shifter. So this is the last year of the tall shift lever. It's got the air assist cab to raise the cab up.
That's nice.
It's quite a treat. Like I say, if you want to regen it, you just push down the throttle. The black smoke comes out. It's regenning. Back in 85, 86, when I ran it regular, it was in every state in the country, including Hunts Point Market, all in swinging beef, and across Canada from Buffalo to Detroit.
I know it's not quite finished yet.
Yeah.
But did you drive it here?
Yeah, I did. 80 miles from Dubuque.
Okay. Was that its first trip?
Yeah. First time it's went out anywhere.
Went well?
Straight here. Not a problem.
Does it have air conditioning?
Yes, it's got 270 air conditioning.
I've heard
down
that.
70 mile an hour.
It goes 70?
We won't talk what it'll go because the speedometer don't work. You got to work on that. 74,500 when it was brand new. 24% interest back then.
Ooh.
Woo, boy, we've covered a lot of ground since then.
How long did it take to pay that back? What was your...
A long time. I gave up my apartment and everything back then because I wasn't sure how it was going to work. So I my expenses were I lived here just to make sure we could make it work.
And you liked it enough that you wanted to bring it back to life.
I wanted to bring it back. That diesel smoke is deep in my lungs. Quite a machine. One thing we added to this is, back then we had a TV, some rabbit ears, but we didn't have any refrigerator. Didn't have a place for it. You might have a cooler or something strapped to the jump seat. Well, today we went a little bit further with this, and we copied off of an FLD that we did. Well, this one here, we took the air out of the seat. We built in this bracketry. And if I move my step out of the way here, we open that up. We had a sliding drawer refrigerator.
So you have to work this truck to be able to use something like that, or
Right.
even just put some water in it for the water.
Yeah, absolutely. Beers for the fuel tank.
That's exactly the kegerator's going back there.
Yeah, but this year we don't even have it wired up yet. It was only put in about a week ago. And matter of fact, we wasn't going to come to the show because I don't have steps on this side. I can't bring it to a show. And I got harassed by a bunch of people here that I wasn't here yet. And I said, and they wouldn't let me alone. So finally I brought it. And I'm glad we did.
Yes.
But for something like this, you can have some cool waters in there and have access to it. And now the key is, how do you say the name? How do you say the name?
You said Nye, right?
Oh, yep, you're right. But some people will say nay, or they'll spell it wrong. And I always say, there's one way to remember it. Uncle Bill Nye, the science guy, spells it wrong.
Well, if they say, is it nay? And you say nay, it's Nye.